Good afternoon, Mr. Sayantan Roy. Mr. Sayantan Roy is from GE Intelligent Platform, and he is there with us for a IoT conclave here. So we have some questions for him for the IoT era. Welcome, sir. Sir, sir, IoT it's a jargon now. For the next 20, 30 years, and IoT will play a very major, whether in the business side or the sales or marketing or whatever side, IoT will definitely take the show from us. So, how prepared are GE in that IoT?
I think IoT is the next buzzword in the industry. Now, how GE is looking at it is because GE is coming from a strong industrial domain in terms of turbines, aviations, healthcare, where we are into a lot of manufacturing. We are talking about IoT in that space. And when we talk about IoT in that space, we are talking about making the machines brilliant. That means a turbine would get into a predictive mode in terms of failure, so that you can move towards a zero downtime. Or even healthcare, the diagnostics becomes much more becoming a prognostics, where the patient's disease or ailment can be much earlier predicted than at the stage where it's more of a critical operation or something else needs to be done. And so is the case of jet engines, where these are all talking about catastrophic failure, where you can, with small, at the time of where the failures can be prevented at that time, you are able to predict what may fail and where you need to correct. So that is where GE is looking at it, and we have developed a platform called as Predix, which is bringing the information technology and the operational technology together, and which is the major and is the first of its kind in the industry. We are the leading edge in the IoT in the industry. Thank you.
GE is doing the healthcare business for a period of time, maybe more than 20 years or so. Now healthcare really needs a very great thing, particularly for the elderly peoples and those who are really cannot move. For them, we need to address something. So how GE is doing something on the healthcare?
Although this, I can only give you a high-level answer because I belong to the automation industry of GE. But from the standpoint of what we are doing in healthcare is to make healthcare viable to the masses in India. So we came out with an ECG machine, with I think costing less than 36,000, and that we are marketing across the world as well. So that was developed for India. So that's how we are making it portable ECG available for the villages. So I think my healthcare colleagues would be able to answer this question much better in a much bigger way. So I think if you restrict the topic to IoT, that would be better.
Actually, IoT uses sensors. So sensors produces data. So how such a very huge data we are going to handle, particularly in this IoT in the next 5 years?
So this is a very important question. So the basic genesis of IoT comes from big data. Now, industry, there is another complexity in the kind of data you look at it. In industry, the data is more of time series based, which is even difficult to handle in a normal kind of a database. So the technology which is come in with is platform agnostic. It can take in data from a time series, it can take in data from a simple database like an SQL, and we are also leveraging Hadoop. So there are a lot of collaborations which is happening in the background, which we are leveraging, and this itself is going to get into a platform like a Predix, which we are calling it as Predix, where all kinds of data can be processed, and the desired analytics can be brought out of it in terms of desirable outcomes. So that is what we are now looking at it.
And down the 5 line down the S, where GE Intelligent Platform can stand in IoT?
I think we are playing a very critical role in GE's strategy for the industrial internet, And in fact, we are in the epicenter of G's strategy for industrial internet, which is comprising of Predix. And what we are seeing is this is going to revolutionize the entire world. When you would look at trains talking to each other, and the aircrafts say describing their health while flying in the air, saving the lives of so many passengers, and intelligent turbines and machines which in the plant before even causing a downtime, much ahead of that, talking to that. I think that's going to, as our chairman says, that it gets into a $1 trillion addition in the economy. The power of 1%. It's $1 trillion, in the economy. So I think going in next 5 years, things are going to be very disruptive. New business models would be formed, and I think the scarcity of time would be best managed by the concept of Internet of Things, or what we call it industrial internet.
And last question, sir. Digital India. So this is the word now. The government is just make in India, digital India. Because every company now addressing some solutions to the government for making the digital India project. So how GE is handling that?
So I think we have formed a division called as G Digital. So where we are concentrating primarily on these kind of things, and I think there are a lot of work which is happening in digital, in terms of disruptive technologies, which we are going to leverage it in the market, which you would come and see in the going forward. Okay.
Thanks for a nice time, sir. So we really welcome you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.